not in space this time. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another installation of GameRT's Twitch program, Low Stress High Mayhem, where we choose a TTRPG, gather some librarians, play together, and talk about how to bring games and play into our spaces. This is a very special edition of Low Stress High Mayhem, where we are doing a 3-part series, kind of an experiment, where the lovely people here with me are going to be playing Shadowdark RPG across multiple sessions. So, without further ado, let me just say, I'm Molly Porter. My pronouns are she, her. And I'm the Adult and Teen Services Librarian in St. Francisville, Louisiana, at the West Feliciana Parish Library, as well as the current GameRT events programming co-chair. Today, I am going to toss it over in just a minute. I'm only here for tech, but I am going to briefly say, if you would all like to introduce yourselves, that would be fabulous. Carl, you are muted. Yeah.
At least we hope I was muted. Yeah, I'll start. My name is Carl Donato. My pronouns are he, him, and I did librarians and research and instruction at the University of South Carolina. I am member at large and decided to have the opportunity to try this out.
This, I'm Information Services Librarian in Massachusetts. Not having space sounds. I'll go next. I'm Donna Block. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the services coordinator at the Bensonville Public Library in Bensonville, Illinois. And I follow GamerRT on Discord and Facebook, and that's how I found out about this. I'm excited. Hi, my name is Mary Kirk. My pronouns are she, her. I work at Westwood College Library at the University of Oklahoma as Assistance Librarian and Technical Services Librarian. And I'm just in between working and love to bring it to my community of students now for entertainment and learning. My name is Jennifer Stubbs. Pronouns she, her, and I'm instruction and outreach librarian at Bradley University in Peoria, Illinois. My pronouns are she, her, so.
Okay, everyone. That is fabulous. Quick note about a couple of upcoming events that we have. The first would be our learn and play on the game Potion Explosion, and that is going to be January 19th. We are also soliciting proposals for our March mini conference. This is the second year we'll be running it. We're very excited about it. The theme this year is building character, and the proposal deadline is February 25th. I will be dropping that link in the Twitch chat here in a few minutes. So, by all means, if you have any really cool idea you want to share with us, please do. We would love to have you. It's promising to be a really cool event. So, without further ado, I am going to turn it over to Carl and Melanie and Jennifer and Donna and Mary. And I'm going to hush.
Thank you so much. Just a couple of things before we get started. I do, because this is in service to helping out librarians who might be interested in offering programming that is some type of form of tabletop role-playing game in person, maybe even online, and just modeling what that could look like, getting past challenges you might have, as well as last year, and print copies just went out over the past month. I think I got mine late December. And so it's a very new game by a indie designer. The publishers of the Arcane Library, and the designer is Kelsey Young. And she did, I think, an amazing job of designing the game that really does lend itself to this type of play. So we're going to try that out and see. The five of us have met once together to do a session 0 in advance to talk a little bit just about what we kind of outlined there, as well as with the characters together at the same time. It's a pretty quick process, even for somebody new to role-playing games. And I'll also say that we didn't really cover too many rules, except as they came up as questions in the creation of these characters.
Hey, okay. For some reason, it is saying that the audio is garbled again. We have a new follower, though, even as the audio is garbled. Yeah, I think that the audience is hearing you through my mic, which doesn't make any sense at all based on these settings. Oh, goodness. Okay, try talking for me.
Yeah. How is this? Is this any better?
I don't think it's picking you up now. Hold on. Okay, now talk.
Is this any better? Or are we the same?
Give me just a moment. Sources. So weird. Add source. Add. Audio. Let me see. Can y'all try talking for me now?
Yeah, I'll try again. Is that any better?
Weird. I'm gonna get this if it kills me.
We don't want that.
I mean, I would agree. Strange. Wait. Someone says it's better now, even though it's showing up for me as not capturing it.
This is better now? Is that
Okay, all of you try talking for me.
yeah.
Absolutely. We can talk.
All at once over each other.
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay. So I'm gonna mute.
Nice.
I'm gonna mute. Yeah.
Hi.
I'm gonna go ahead and mute my audio, and hopefully this has fixed it. Okay.
Yeah.
And that way they won't get the echo.
Okay. So I'm gonna back that up a little bit and run it again with part of the reason we're doing this is in service to libraries and librarians who are interested in running tabletop role-playing game programming of some type, and looking at modeling what that can look like. Obviously, we're in an online format, but some of the same things would apply to an in-person format. And the the thing with this game is that it is pretty rules light and fairly easy to teach, to learn, and you can do a little learning along the way. We met once as a group and created characters and went over some session zero things. I'll point those out in a moment. But that was it. We didn't like learn the rules. Some questions about rules came up through the creation of these characters, but otherwise, we didn't get into the details of how this game works. I will say one of the things that has captured my attention with this game is the concise way things are written, leaving a lot of room for interpretation and kind of negotiation of how things would work, both for the person running the game as well as the players playing the game. So I am very excited about this game by Kelsey Dion of the Arcane Library, independent publisher. It's a new game, and it's the vehicle by which we're going to do what we're going to do here. In our session zero, we talked about lines and veils, things that would kind of set the boundaries of what might be off limits in our game. And I will say that at the outset that you should probably treat this, if you're watching, as probably around a PG type rating, if you wanted to think of it in those terms. You don't always know what's going to come up and how people might respond to things in a game. So it's important to talk about what is absolutely something that somebody may not want to have as part of their fun experience. For our game, all of the games I run, there's absolutely no sexual assault allowed as a topic, or certainly as an active thing. And in this particular game, we have also set a boundary around pain and gore that are centered on fingernails, and so that's another boundary we have set. And we looked at a lot of the common lines or veils that other tables that come up frequently. But you can't always anticipate what's going to come up. So we also have in place, in a physical game, a lot of times there's a thing called an X card that somebody can just kind of hold up or put on the table if something does come up that they're uncomfortable with. In place of that, and achieving some more things potentially, we're using something that a YouTuber, Sly Flourish, has advocated for. He says, let's pause for a minute, or let's pause for a moment. And that's going to serve as our virtual X card. This phrase you can use for many things. Some examples: if you are uncomfortable with the topic matter coming up in game, maybe a decision made on the part of the other characters, and you want to talk that out a little bit. If you want to clarify everybody's okay with what you are doing, or if I, as the GM, might want to ensure that everybody's happy with the direction things are going, anything like that. Just, hey, can we pause for a moment? And you should feel absolutely comfortable interrupting me or any of us if you do need to implement that. So those are some things that we discussed at the outset. At the end of the third session that we're going to run, we're going to have some time for Q&A, and that's a good time to like talk about more things and ask questions in service to programming. So with those things in mind, I think we're going to get started. Let me switch up a couple of things, but as I'm doing that, I'm going to call on our players to go in turn and in round to just do a brief introduction to your character, who they are, what their name is, what ancestry and what class that you're playing, and maybe something that you're looking forward to with that particular character. And I'm going to start with Melanie. Melanie, who are you playing?
I am playing Clara the Shaman. She is a human wizard who may get in over her head a lot looking for the knowledge and information that it is out there. And I'm very interested to see how the interesting magical mishaps tables go, although hopefully it won't end up killing us or anyone else. She is on her quest to learn more stuff, and things in libraries are wonderful, but sometimes you gotta go hunting through dark and ominous places to find information that might have been lost.
Indeed. I did neglect to mention that this is a bit of a dark, ominous, dangerous game. It takes its cues from some older styles of play, though it puts some very modern mechanisms of role-playing games in the mix to kind of streamline things. So we are playing this as a fairly dangerous game. Melanie, how many hit points is Clara starting with?
5. She's
5
sturdy
hit
from
points.
carrying all those books around.
Yeah. Donna.
Hi, I am playing Bruga, the Dwarf Seeker. She is a priest who follows the deity Ord. Ord is the deity of magic and secrets. So she has devoted her life to uncovering the secrets of magic. And she has 6 whole hit points.
6 whole hit points. Excellent. Thank you. Jennifer.
I'm playing Ulara, pronouns she, her. She's a half-orc fighter who's afraid of the dark. As a player, I'm surprised at how nice her stat rolls were, and trying to play a tank is new for me, to be in melee range or going into battle, like really close.
Excellent. You have a few more hit points, right?
Correct. Ulara has 11 hit points.
Excellent. Excellent. And Mary.
I'm playing Rose Biggins. She's a halfling by ancestry. She's a thief, and her title is a robber. She follows the deity Ord as well because of the secrets aspect. The thing about Rose, I think that I mentioned, is that I'm excited about this character doesn't acknowledge thievery. It's not robbery, it's research. She doesn't filch, she found. She doesn't loot, she recovers the lost. And she may have to stand behind our magic user because Rose has only 2 hit points. I haven't played a 2 hit point character since the 70s when Gary Gygax tried to kill us all.
Yes. So we did. There's multiple modes of rolling these characters, and we used 3d6. I did the book encourages just rolling your stats as they go, and I know for sure that Mary did that. But I did give the option to move things around a little bit, and in this game, there are with the and really all you need is this one book. There are 4 classes to play, and so you all decided to build a balanced party with one of each of those classes, and so I'm pretty excited about that. Okay. I do want to just move a thing here. Excellent. So, with that in mind, would y'all like to get started?
Yeah.
All right. You and each of your companions find yourself looking up an incline over what may have once been a trail, though now it would be generous to call it that, in these wooded, rocky foothills. the cool, damp air from earlier rains and the approaching dew that will come as the dappled light through the trees begins to fail with the night on its way. You see what looks to be a cave entry up ahead, though it appears partially obscured by some vines. Griff, the owner of the general store in town, was having some trouble with some outsized rodents. One might call them unusually sized. And they hired the four of you to deal with the issue. And so you did. You each learned a couple of lessons, maybe a little scrapes, and learned that maybe you work pretty well together. Griff said they didn't really know what was Griff had offered you some store credit. You used to buy some of the things you now have, as well as something that they had received in trade a while back. It's a rough map of the foothills you now stand in, about a day and a half outside of town. The map is marked with a cave that has an icon resembling an eye. Griff said they didn't really know what was there, but they had acquired it some time ago as part of some ridiculously complicated trade initiated by a couple of adventurers who had claimed there would be treasure there, but they had lost a companion before getting too far in, and they decided that they were getting out of the adventuring game. You all decided that maybe this was worth following up. And so here you are, a relatively short distance from this cave marked on the map as the light begins to fail. I would like everyone to roll initiative, which means please roll a d20 and add your dexterity modifier to that number. Not to freak
I
you
rolled
out.
a 1.
Perfect.
Or
One and a 4.
14.
14. I'm sorry, what was that, Jennifer?
It's an 11.
An 11. Okay. So if you are used to some other role-playing games, that means we're doing combat. That is not the case with Shadowdark. At the beginning of every session of Shadowdark, we roll initiative. And what that does is gives me a person to kind of, it just gives me a place to think about something called crawling rounds, which you don't have to worry about too much. It's just a mechanism in the game for me to ensure everybody is getting a fair amount of time and turns to do things. So, Rose with a 14 kind of hit that mark for me. So we will have another type of that initiative roll for combat. That's a separate thing. So y'all aren't just immediately getting into combat. Though I have to admit that I may have done that on purpose because I know what that means to a lot of people. So, so there's this cave up ahead. It aligns with the map you have and the cave that you see marked on that map. What would you like to do?
May I suggest lighting the torch to enter, or is there enough light to see by?
As you approach the cave, you see that it is pretty dark in the cave. There's still a little bit of light outside. And as you're contemplating that, getting closer to the cave, you do see what looks like just sticking out of the darkness a little bit and fading back into the darkness, the prone body kind of laying there long since it's not fully bones and rubble, but it has been there a while, and you see it kind of prone and reaching out towards you. This dead corpse.
Guys, I want to use my senses, like my hearing, smell, vision, like what I can see. I think I want to go up and like touch the corpse too. I'm just gonna use like all my senses to see like if I can figure out like is there any like immediate danger.
You go up and look and smell it. You know, it's been there a while. It's not like it's, you know, nasty smells. It does, the cave itself does have a bit of a musty aroma coming from it. And as you pause for a moment and listen, you do hear a little skittering, scratching sounds that are coming from further back in.
I think I'll turn to the others and say, "Do you hear that?"
Sure.
When it is pointed out to you, you definitely all can. Yeah.
At least it's not screaming.
May I ask if we can tell if it's along the roof versus the floor scrittering?
It's kind of echoing through because it's not right there, so it is difficult to tell that. Yeah.
Shall we light a torch and kind of examine the entryway?
Or the remains to see if it shows how they were killed.
Yeah. You join in kind of looking at this corpse, and together, you are able to discern, even though there's a lot of it that it has gone away, there is a pretty significant wound hole kind of at the throat area of this corpse. Yeah.
Should I use the grappling hook to drag it out or see if that scares the stuff further in or further out?
I mean, it's probably a good idea to get them out of the way before we potentially end up having to run back out ourselves at some point. It would just be embarrassing to trip over a corpse.
You are able to it's not the most pleasant of business, but you are able to kind of get it out, move it over a little bit. There is a small coin pouch as well, and a dagger that you notice is not on the corpse but nearby, perhaps wielded in defense, unsuccessfully.
Rose says, look what I found.
Go ahead and add that to your inventories. That will take up a slot. The dagger will take up a slot. The coin pouch would not.
She doesn't have room for it. Someone have an empty slot?
You can carry the dagger.
Yes.
There you go.
I might hand it back to you if it comes to any sort of actual combat, I'll
I
hold it
will need
over.
it if I throw mine. I'll need another dagger. Also, the pouch. Who's grabbing the pouch?
Well, I think you'd found it, so
Yeah, but I can't carry it.
Oh, the pouch won't take a
Yeah.
slot.
Okay. So she checks out what's in it.
There's a few silver. It's not a rich hoard by any means, but it is something.
She counts everything. What's in it?
There are 4 pieces of silver and 6 pieces of copper.
Okay. She gives everybody a silver piece and keeps one for herself, and she pockets the coppers.
Nice.
I
As
think
you, oh, go ahead.
I think I'll say like a little like blessing, like whatever blessing would be appropriate for the situation as I'm just dragging the corpse out and like moving it out of the way.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Some kind of last rites,
Yeah.
as befitting of your deity, befitting of Ord.
Does
And
this
Mhm.
deceased adventurer look similar to the one that we heard had died, or is this possibly a second adventurer
it,
who's died
it
there recently?
um you wouldn't necessarily have had a description of them, but
Timing wise and
it
deterioration wise, maybe.
yeah, maybe time-wise it could seem to align that way. Yeah.
Hopefully.
As you're kind of moving this and making a little bit of noise, dealing with a corpse and so on, the skittering noise like stops for a second, and you do then hear a little bit of like a, and then more flappy type sounds.
We may have been noticed.
Nothing seems to be screaming out immediately.
Did anyone light a torch? Does anyone?
Not yet.
Okay. I'll light a torch.
Okay. You do so, and with that, I'm going to set a 1 hour timer, because in this game, torches burn for 1 hour of real time, in-game time. So the timer's ticking on that torch. And as you do and hold it in, you see that this cave does indeed go back a ways. You are able to see a distance equivalent to what is called near in this game, which is roughly 30 feet. We're going to try not to get hung up on distances. So it burns out about 30 feet back into the cavern, and you see it goes back further beyond that. And as you do that, you do see something near the ceiling that like skitters back from the darkness. You can't quite make it out, but it looks somewhat like a larger, sizable bat of some type.
I'll say, "Did you see that bat?" And then like just point at its general direction.
Clara's going to take a few steps away from people because she's definitely never had a spell go wrong before. But and then she's going to put her hands over herself to call up a mage armor on the grounds of I don't want my throat to get bitten out by a bat.
Okay. So our first spell has been cast.
11 plus 3. So that is 14.
Okay. Yeah, not a problem. And so you have mage armor up, so make sure if it becomes a thing that you take, just remember that you have it.
Yep.
Perfect.
10 rounds. 14.
Okay. So with that, now that we have some light on the scene, something happening, we're going to I'm gonna ask you more specifically. Okay, what are you doing? Okay, that's kind of the idea behind some of these crawling rounds, right? So we're in crawling rounds right now. So Clara, you just cast mage armor. Fantastic. And we also just lit a torch, which is great. Donna lit the torch. I'm sorry, Donna didn't light the Bruga lit the torch.
Frugal at the torch.
Yeah, no, let's not confuse these things. Ulara, what would you like to do?
Do I need to say things like take out the great axe, or do I need to arm? I don't watch these online,
Yeah.
so I'm not sure the alacrity with which people speak the sentences.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's part of the point of what we're doing is to kind of learn together and figure those things out. So yeah, that's a perfectly good thing to do to say, I'd like to, be ready my axe and be ready should something happen. If you can do many things if you wanted to say if it is in your nature to I would like to kind of move to the front of everyone, that sort of thing. And that being said, I'm not going to be the type of person who's like, oh, you didn't say you pulled out your axe, when you go to hit something. Like that's not the kind of thing we're doing here. That's not fun in most situations. So
Do I
yeah.
need to state whether I'm using one or two hands because the Great Axe has two options? And since there's a light behind me, I don't have to worry about having light. I'll just be swinging at a disadvantage because it'll be my own shadow that's cast since I'm at the front of the group.
You'd probably be fine with that as long as you're in the light. But if you were doing something else, carrying something else, it would be kind of assumed that it was one hand. My default assumption would be you're probably using two hands unless you tell me otherwise, or unless there is something in the way of that. So yeah. So Ulara has readied for whatever this may be. Rose,
Yes.
what would you?
Rose will follow Yulara's lead and take out her short sword and have it ready and kind of examine around. Are we already inside, or are we just at the entrance peeking in and seeing the giant thing?
Yeah, you're kind of at the entrance, peeking in a little bit with Bruga and Ulara kind of on point with the torch and the axe.
Okay. Well, she will walk in right behind Ilara and check around and hold her short sword straight up that if it drops on me, it's going to drop on my weapon and not on me.
Excellent, excellent. Good to know. So, um, uh, people at the front, Ulara, Bruga, what would you like to do?
Is move a separate action from an attack. So I need to plan certain moves now.
Don't worry about that too much. Just tell me, yeah, you guys can confer. Don't treat this as like necessarily, oh, it's my turn now. Oh, it's my turn now. So much as, what would you like to do? How would you like to kind of move forward into this cave or go home? That's an option, but
I see people getting weapons out. Who's closer to me, Rose or Clara?
I think Clara. Who's closer, Rose or Clara?
Yeah, to Bruga.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
Up to you guys.
I know Clara stepped back.
Cast the spell, and yeah, so I'll be catching up, but I think at the moment probably Rose.
Rose, okay. I'm gonna hand my torch to Rose and say, "Here, can you hold on to this?" And then I'm gonna ready my mace in one hand and my shield in the other. So I'm ready up at the front next to Ulara.
Okay, great. So Rose has the torch. Is that correct?
Okay.
Excellent, excellent. All right. And are you pushing forward?
I'd like to ask, how high up can we see the ceiling?
Oh,
How high
yes.
above Elara's head is the ceiling of this cave?
This cave is about roughly 10 feet wide, roughly 15 feet high. So you can definitely uh, see the ceiling of the cave,
Okay.
and it's mostly stone. Occasional root coming down through. That as you kind of take your first steps in, the musty smell is a little stronger. It's a cave.
I'll let you guys know I'm happy to move forward as fast as you want. I don't understand how often a move forward will require us to fend off an attack or a chance of that.
I see. Let's
Lara's
move the other
going
way
to
around.
catch up with you,
Yeah,
although
you
staying
guys.
back with Rose. Let the two buff people go first.
Um, so just hanging back a little bit, and just the idea is we'll move into this cave and deal with things as they come. Is that fair
Yes.
assessment? Great. Okay. Yeah. You do that. You start pushing forward, slowly, and nothing. You don't hear the skittering. You don't hear that flapping, but you keep moving forward, and the cave goes back a decent ways, and then every once in a while you'll it seems like you're startling this thing a little bit. You'll catch it with the light, and it'll just move further back into the cave a little bit. Um,
Where
and
it's leading us on.
It's scared of us. We got it on the run. Let's keep going.
Or is it luring us to the bigger
Yeah.
snack?
At a certain point as well, the cave, which has been going straight back for a little bit, turns to your right, then a little bit to the left. Yeah, with every so often that kind of happening again. And a little bit up ahead, you could see the cave looks like it might widen up. This is just at the periphery of your torchlight. It looks like it widens up a little bit.
As we're going, can we like keep a look on the floor and stuff to just see if there's any traces of footprints, creature markings, whatnot? Lots
Yeah,
better.
yeah, good thought. I would say that in actively doing that,
Mhm.
that you would be able to discern that there was there were people here before. You see a few sets of footprints. And at a certain point, further back than you are now,
Yep.
earlier in going into this cave, that you would have seen kind of a little bit of a scuffle, chaos in the dirt, dust. And up to that point, you had also seen some retreating type of footprints. These are old, covered in dust, but you're able to kind of take the story you had heard and put two and two together.
And
Made it further than them.
by retreat, do you mean they retreated to the front door or retreated deeper in?
To the out, and it appears one of them did not make it. Yeah. So yeah, you're further than they are.
All right. Yeah, yes. Rose does have a scout background,
Mhm.
so she too will examine the floor, the ground, as we
Mhm.
move along and check for anything that might be dangerous, like anything loose that could trip us or get in our way as we're moving along. She'll
Okay.
just check for traps.
Okay. Um, you don't see any active traps, things that maybe had been put there intentionally to trip you up. In this game, I should note, it might be surprising people that I haven't called for rolls, but a lot of things in this game, in service to uh, keeping things moving. If you are actively looking for something, unless there might be different circumstances, sometimes it just works, right? And actively looking for traps, no roll needed. You, especially with that background, don't find any active traps. There's some loose rocks here and there. Again, it's a cave, but and maybe there's a couple that with this kind of forethought you have, if we need to make a hasty retreat, that you just shuffle to the side a little bit so that maybe you don't roll an ankle on the way out.
Okay, if there are signs of scuffling and retreat, amongst the pebbles and the dirts and the rocks, are there any dropped valuables?
For that, I will ask for a roll. Could you give me a a wisdom roll?
Let me check what that is. Oh,
Uh,
+1. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, +1 to 4. Yeah, she rolls a 5. This is a cave,
Um,
all right.
it's a cave. It's a cave. It appears that other than the now liberated from the corpse dagger and small pouch, there was everything else made it out.
Okay, someone smarter than me look around too.
I was just thinking, as a dwarf, I would think that Pruga would have some knowledge of caves and geology.
Ooh.
So I was wondering if she can just kind of examine the structure of the cave to get a sense of how big it might be in total, or like how far back it might go, or um, like any clues to, I don't know, where or what kind of structure these things might be leading us to.
Yeah. So as Bruga has this thought and starts just looking around, this you absolutely know that this to this point has been like a natural cavern, but at the edge of your torchlight where it opens up, you can see that that is maybe not the case there. There's a little bit of tool marks, kind of at the outer edges of the light.
Oh, I will share this with the others, and then I'm going to head towards those tool marks to get a better look.
Okay. You make your way forward, and let me ask, Ulara, are you kind of
I was about to ask, is this like a Mighty Ducks Flying V where we're staying in a formation of protecting the light bearer and there's a point versus the defended backs as we explore towards the tool marks?
that is up to you all.
I like the idea of having at least a stated marching order.
Yeah, strategy is definitely not Bruga's strong point. She just sees like tools and like starts going forward.
So yeah, if
Hopefully I'll
that's
stay somewhat together.
so Alara kind of makes this suggestion of, hey, maybe this is a good formation that we can get into, which will also help with keeping the light around you all. And so you go together to investigate and to be clear, it's worked stone. You don't see tools lying about so much
like
as the
tool
worked
marks.
stone.
Yeah.
Yes. And as you do, like the cavern opens up into a small worked chamber. This is clearly made and not natural, with a door across the way, and being careful to knowing that there's danger ahead, but you all are being careful to watch for whatever is making these sounds. You've seen it up at the ceiling, and as you bring the torchlight in, you do see two creatures trying to stay out of this light. But you also see that there will be nowhere else for them to go, as this chamber appears to be not a dead end. There is a door ahead of you, but you have pressed them to the end.
What are these creatures? Can we see what they look like? Are they standing upright
Yeah.
on 2s or 4 legs, or?
Yeah. So as you move the torch to get a better look, they become agitated. These leather wings, they're up on the ceiling, and not hanging like bats, but kind of with all six of their arms plus 2 leathery wings. They are about a foot and a half, 2 feet long, bat-like creatures with these long type of proboscis, agitated and beginning to look like they are going to do something about it. What would you like to do?
I would like to say, can we like muffle the light or string down just to let them escape if they're nervous?
I don't really want the light to go away. That does look like what probably took the chunk out of the throat of the previous adventure we came across.
I would rather they had nothing at their back and we had these walls at our back. But if you'd prefer, we have nothing at their back and just corner them and force them into a slaughter.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we should not cover or lower the light. We can like move to the side and like make a gesture to let them Vanna White the door if they want to go. But it is pretty. I am feeling that they killed the previous adventurer, so let's not make it likely that we also get our throats ripped out.
With any of our backgrounds, have we, any of us, seen these creatures before, know what they are, and know if they're aggressive or just scared?
I'll tell you what, let's find out. I would like everyone to this will probably be like we'll figure this out, and then they're getting agitated. They're probably about to do something about it. So let's figure this out, and then we'll see what happens after that. But everybody give me with that suggestion that Rose has, like, has anybody heard of any of this? Give me an intelligence roll.
Okay.
Ooh,
That's
actually
10.
Okay,
12.
So I see an 8. I heard 12.
15.
15. And what was our wizard's
10.
roll? 10.
This wasn't something I read about a lot, unfortunately.
That's fair. So who had the 15?
I did, Strength.
Rose.
I have a +2.
Yeah. Excellent. So you definitely have heard of bat-like creatures. All of you bats are a common thing. And some of you would have heard of a dangerous ones. With a 15, Rose, this suddenly when you see the kind of the long pointed proboscis and some of like the teeth that are also around the proboscis is strange. It's like a stabbing implement, but also there's a mouth below it. And when you see that flash in the torchlight, you recall stories of these things. They can be quite dangerous when they're in large numbers. They are not very strong, but they are vicious. You've heard them referred to as stingbats in the past. Yeah. And there are two of them right there. And that is kind of what you would know is they can be dangerous. They're not strong, but if they're aggressive, they can do some damage.
So Rose will share this. Those are stingbats, and they're vicious, but there's only two, and they're not very strong. What do you want to do? Shall we move away from them? I can take the light over there. They're not going to come near the light. They don't like the light, I don't think. So I'm safer than the rest of you right now if I leave with the light.
So kind of figuring this out. I'm going to ask for an initiative roll that will be a combat initiative roll. And I know there's a time thing with the mage armor. I'm not going to worry a whole lot about that right now. We'll say there's like 5 because there's 10 rounds total, right? With mage armor.
So,
Let's say there's 5 rounds of mage armor left.
okay.
Okay.
May I ask if I add anything to an initiative roll?
Yes, that would be your dexterity.
Okay. Got a 15 this time.
15.
Down to
13.
10. Oops, sorry.
Oh, are these things within melee range at this point, or are they farther?
The room is about 15 by 15 by 15 roughly, and so they're fully in the light. That you have the room completely lit. They are still on the ceiling, so it not quite
Okay.
with that.
And 14.
And 14. Okay, so 15 is the highest, and that was Bruga, correct?
Yes.
Excellent. So when you're sitting at a table, how I also have to do that, how it would go is that the highest initiative rolled for not just the party, but also any opponent, these creatures in this case, the highest initiative rolled is the first to act, and then it simply goes clockwise as far as turns go. One of the things I like about these games is the freedom to not get fully locked into initiative. Certainly we can treat this as turns. That's an easy way to go. But if you guys have cool ideas to do things together in other systems that can be hard to do, to act together, total freedom to suggest things and let me know, and we'll figure out how that works. So don't get locked into other system thinking too much. And let me double check here. Okay. As it turns out, the stingbats are going to act first. So they rolled a 16, and because we don't, I'm not sure what the stream looks like. We don't have a right around the ring. I'm going to use my screen. So that is going to look like Clara will be next, followed by Bruga, followed by Ulara, and finally Rose. Okay. But again, if you guys have cool ideas and want to try to act together, that's fine. That's great. So with that being said, there are 2 stingbats coming down towards the people at the front. And so the first stingbat is going to try to go after Ulara. Okay, so coming down at you.
Dang.
Yeah. You ready your axe. And the attack for this is a 12 to hit your armor class. So I have your armor class here, but if you look for the AC, what is that number?
It said 8. It said 13.
So that means that this creature comes down and tries to, and it is indeed kind of going towards your half-orc throat area to try to pierce it, and you dodge out of the way of it and manage to not get pierced. And so it is now in kind of a melee situation for certainly you and certainly for Bruga, and probably everyone else without issue. The other one is going to come at Bruga, and rolls quite well. Okay, so it did roll not a natural, but a total of 20 to hit you. So you just for the sake of everyone watching, what is Bruga's armor class?
13.
13. So that does indeed hit. And so I'm going to roll damage die. Okay. So it pierces into your throat, doing 2 points of damage.
Okay.
And it is now attached to you.
Oh, nasty.
And Rose, upon seeing this, seeing this kind of these legs wrap around and like cling, and this proboscis in Bruga's throat, you do remember that they do just like work on sucking out blood every time, and as they attach, you know that this could be a really bad thing to have happen if it is not removed from Bruga.
Okay.
So with that, Clara, you are up.
Laura is going to try and magic missile the thing bat that is attached. She will take like a little step back in the hopes that she doesn't
Okay.
accidentally hit any of you guys.
Okay.
But
Okay. I do have to look a thing or two up, but
magic missile, I do get advantage on. So although its range is far, so I don't know. Do I have to move away before I can use it?
No, you're fine. Okay, so magic missile. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so just for the benefit of everyone here, in terms of spell casting, when you cast a spell, that is your action, right? You will cast a spell by making a check, right? So you'll roll 1d20. You know this, but you roll 1d20 plus your intelligence modifier. And if you are successful, the spell just works. If you fail, it doesn't work, and that spell is lost for the day. Well, until you complete a rest, not the day. You could complete some type of rest. Critical successes and critical failures, natural 20s and natural 1s, have their own effects of either doubling or causing a mayhem, depending. So that's fun. And yeah, so let's see if it works.
Magic Missile does get always cast with advantage.
Okay.
So
and
I'm not being
advantage,
too dumb.
yeah, advantage means roll 2 dice and take the better option.
So I will be taking the 13 and not the 2, and so that is a 13 plus 3, so that is 16. And
16.
DC is 11.
Yes, so success. You can roll a 1d4 damage.
And that is 3 damage.
3 damage. Awesome. Okay, so I do. Was that you may have said this? I missed it in doing this. Was that at the one that's attached
Yes.
to? Okay.
Oh yes, that seems like the greater priority. Laura's like, let's scale the priorities here. Let's go with the one that's trying to drink someone's blood.
I just have to check. Okay. So
like mosquitoes alone, sting bats are like top of that list of things. That's like nope.
Yes. You do a nasty bit of damage to that. It still does remain attached, but it is not looking great. Not looking great with that 3 points of damage. Anything else you'd like to try to do?
I think there's much to do other than am I able to reach over and take the torch from Rose so that they can have 2 hands?
Sure.
Great.
Yeah.
Then I will do that. I will be holding on to things for
okay. You reach over without comment, just grab the torch, freeing Rose to do what she will. Excellent. So, Bruga, you have a situation.
I do. Okay, I had a question that I realized I probably should have asked earlier. But for holy weapon, is that something? Can I cast it on the weapon and then attack on at the same time, or is it 2 things that have to be done separately?
Let me
take
a quick look.
It didn't say, and so.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so casting holy weapon, it would be an action to cast that. Is that what you're asking? Can I cast?
Yeah, do I have to do it ahead of time if I want to use it?
Yes. Yeah. So,
okay.
I mean, you can cast it now, or if you wanted to, if the priority is the attack, I would say do the attack.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm just gonna try and smash the thing with my mace.
Okay, so it's on you. You have a mace, and you're just.
I'm just gonna try and smash it off.
Go for it.
Oh, I rolled a 4.
4 total. Yeah. This is an awkward situation. You're almost hitting at yourself to do it, and so it's just your swings are not getting a whole lot of purchase. Anything you'd like to do? You made the attack, but you could. I'll give you the option to try to pull it off.
Okay, I was gonna say, could I try to use my shield to scrape it off, take my
sure.
Or I don't know if that would be more effective or less, but I figure I've got a mace in my hand, just go like that.
Give me a strength check.
Okay. 17.
17. You are able to get it the legs that are grappling you.
Oh.
You are able to pull those off. It's still
Yeah.
like aggressively going at your neck. But it's not exactly attached. It's maybe free for somebody to more easily do something about.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Um, and the other one is down in this mix as well, near Ulara as well. It had just attacked Ulara. I don't want people to forget about that either. So speaking of Ulara, your turn.
I guess I don't really want to hit somebody named Bruga with my axe, so I may just focus on the other one. I'm sorry
Yeah.
to leave you hanging.
Okay.
It seems reasonable not to want to hit them. So yeah, you'd like to take a two-handed swing at this one that attacked you?
Correct.
Perfect. So go ahead and roll a d20, and you will add, let me double check what your total pluses are. Great X. So you will have the +2 from your strength, as well as +1 from being a half orc in ancestry. So you'll add 3 to your attack.
It shows a 20 then, 21.
Well more than enough. As you square up and
Nice.
swing the axe, I'm going to ask you to roll damage for the great axe. I don't see. Let's see.
It's a 1d10, so it rolled a
Oh, okay.
9. Do I do
Excellent.
the +1 for being? Is that where the
Yeah.
attack
Yeah, you
happens?
get
Is in the damage part?
It's in both. So you'll get a +1 to that. And I missed another +1 that you have to your attack roll as well. So it would have been a 22. And your damage roll just from the weapon itself. So you'll add 2 to that for 11 damage. There is absolutely nothing like nothing just focused on this creature. You dodge out of the way, square it up, cleave it in 2. It is done. If you would you like to do anything else before we move to Rose's turn?
I guess can I fall in the direction of Bruga to see if I can like wing the bat that's on her?
Yeah, so that's kind of happening not too far from you, so you're already in position if it comes back around. But you put like all of your energy into that attack in terms of and well done, might I say.
Yay.
So Rose.
Okay, after recovering from the shock of that severe Ular attack and then sucking our dwarf's neck, can Rose get behind the creature and stab it?
Yes.
Okay, she's gonna try her backstab on it
Okay.
if it doesn't notice her there while it's trying to suck.
Yeah,
It's
this thing is
preoccupied.
definitely preoccupied for
Okay.
sure.
15, and I get a +1 on the backstab, 16.
16, that is also plenty.
Okay. And my short sword is 1d6. Or can I only do backstab with my dagger?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'll for now just use your short sword. I think that probably works with that as well. That's a good question. I'll figure that out for next time.
3. And I don't think I have a plus damage on that. Oh yes, the damage, +1.
Mhm.
So 4 points of damage.
Also more than enough to just stop this thing before it has a chance to do any more damage to your companion here. And you plunge the sword into it and then pull it out of your friend, who does have a little nasty wound now. But it seems the danger has been dealt with.
All right, we're tough. Ew, 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 get off her, get off her, get off her. Ew.
And with that, you are left in this space, with a door in front of you, and this door, now that these creatures had been dealt with, is adorned with the same sigil of an eye that is roughly carved into this metal door.
Ulara have crowbar.
Also, try the door first.
Yeah.
Can Brooke see to her wound to do anything about that?
Oh yeah.
Because you're down 2 points, aren't you? So
Yeah. I was just wondering, like, is it worth healing it, or do I want to wait and see if there's something even worse coming? I guess.
What's the value of your healing?
I got a 1d6.
How many times can you do it?
It depends on. It's all. I can do it until I fail. That's the thing. Like, if I fail now, then
well, let's not
there's
start
no
by
healing
failing in the
later.
entrance cave. Yeah, we don't want to fail and we haven't even gotten through the door. Rose will go check out the door.
I think Brugger would just slap a band-aid on it and be like, it's just a flesh wound.
Oh, so
that is
you
so
will
dwarf-like.
Yeah. You're like, there's more in there. Let's just keep it in there.
She probably like headbutt Rose. Like, and thanks. Oh, and Clara.
Be careful. Headbutting Rose.
Yeah. She goes flying
like
backwards with her
gentle
2 hit
tap,
points.
like head tap for that.
Oh, fantastic. Rose, you said you'd like to check out this door.
Yeah, she'll wipe the icky stuff off of her short sword, put it away, and ask Clara to follow her with the torch and look at the door and see if it's first let's see if it's unlocked. Is there a locking mechanism? Is there a handle?
This does have a handle and hinge situation, and you have a bit of experience with doors and getting through them for research, and and this does not appear to be locked.
All right. She will look at the others and say, I'm going to open the door. Okay.
Clara is just going to take a step back and quickly
Yeah.
look over the remains of the spider, the sting bitey things first, though, just future reference, because obviously I should have read about this. So maybe I can write a paper about this later with the gross things.
Perfect.
I think.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think Bruga's curious about the eye symbol, and would wonder. I just wonder, like, if she's seen anything like it before. If there's like any, like, significance to it, like magical meaning, or like, yeah,
Sure.
anything that would have been in like a religious text, or I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah.
You're right.
Give
We've
me
got 2 scouts and a ranger. Maybe someone's seen something like that before.
give me specifically you, Bruga. Give me a not your favorite, I know, but give me an intelligence.
Yeah, I know it's coming. Yeah,
Go for it, Virgo.
9.
9. There are many religious of all types, religions, religious cults, that type of thing, that can and have employed like iconography around the eye, or sight or seeing, and that type of thing. So it could be any of a number of things around that. Yeah.
Ooh, is the eye just a carving or painting? Is there anything weird about it?
Other than it's just a kind of an etched into metal eye in
Okay.
itself being a little weird. Not much more bizarre about that. Yeah.
Okay.
So Rose, we'll get to you in just a second as you go to open that door. In terms of you wanted to investigate Clara wanted to investigate the remains of these sting bats a bit.
Them over, take a few mental notes.
Okay. There's
See if they have anything valuable, like maybe teeth bits. You never know who needs something for alchemical purposes.
The proboscis itself is very sharp, very hard, chitinous, and I don't know whether it be trophy or of value to someone who might be able to fashion some sort of interesting dagger out of it or something. At least those oh no, my science librarianship is going to fly. Proboscis, proboscises might have some value.
Oh, well, I will hand the torch to whoever will take it, if anyone will. And let's see. I want to take one of them, but I have to put something else down to do so.
I'll let you. No. For this type of loot, like you'll be able to stuff those in the backpack.
Well, I will take the 2 proboscis.
Okay, you're able to now that they're not
everything in that backpack is now ooze covered.
Yeah, I mean you try to clean it off, but you're right. Yeah. So mark those. You have those. And Rose, you try this door, and at first you might think, did I miss something? It didn't. This shouldn't have been locked, but it's just a little seized from disuse, and then it opens, and as it does, you're able to walk through. Nothing, no traps go off or anything like that. And you, I know it's a cheap trick, but I love it. The gather together and appear into the room that is the first of this whatever is marked on the map that's not of the tunnel itself. And you peek in, and you see it's a fairly sizable round room, and your torchlight goes nearly to the back of it, and in the center of this room, the first thing that catches your attention is a little bit of like a fountain. Looks kind of bird bath like, fairly large, round. At a glance, you see there's some detail. You can't tell quite what it is, and that's what you see. But then, like from opening the door, the air hits you, and that musty smell is far more intense. You see next to this this kind of fountain bowl basin type of thing. There's a statue standing just right alongside of it. It looks to be like a female form of an elf. This statue is kind of looking up, kind of out over the fountain, almost at her hand outstretched. You also notice that the floor is damp in places. It's a stone floor, is damp in various places. And at a glance, those are the things that come to your attention. Though, notably, there is another metal door on the other side that your torchlight just catches the metallic nature of that door and flashes it back at you.
May I suggest starting a second torch, and then we can like explore the room on both sides?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I have a torch.
Okay. So with the small amount of time left on the first one, I'm just going to let that one kind of go. I'll for the purposes of the room, you're going to be able to like look around with a couple torches, but the room isn't so big that one torch won't fully cover it. So we'll start that second torch and reset the torch timer. So the first torch, I cannot recall whose inventory that came from.
It came
originally.
from Bruga's.
Okay, yeah, make sure that is.
I marked it off, yeah.
Yeah. But that does free up an inventory slot for you as well. So, so you have.
Like, has 5 rounds ended? Is major armor gone? I feel like it's been...
Yeah, it's tailing off here. Yeah. Oops.
I'd like to light one of mine and hand it to whoever wants to carry it.
You're lighting a second torch? Or is this the torch being lit?
Oh, this is the torch being lit.
Okay, great.
If that's okay, I can free up one of my inventory slots in case I find something lost.
Yeah.
Bruga will take it. I think she's put away her mace for the time being.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Does one of us have to say, search the room?
Yeah, well, so what I personally don't go for when I'm running a game is I search the room. And specific to this particular scenario or adventure, there are maybe a couple of things where it will be important that you tell me more specifically, like where you're looking and what you'd like to search for and that sort of thing. There's some things that become potentially important that way. So when I describe a room, if something catches your attention, or if you would like to know more about something that maybe I didn't describe, so I didn't describe the ceiling, for example, and you're interested in what that looks like, you can just ask. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Bruga would be looking for anything having to do with the eye symbol, anything that might explain it, anything like related to it.
So yeah, the center of the room has what look to be the two things in this room, right? Were the statue next to this fountain, and as you get a little closer with a little more light, you're able to see that the fountain has carvings around the pedestal of it that look a little bit like cherubs, but without eyes at all. So this catches your attention, being interested in this iconography. There are no eyes on these cherubs. And so that's the pedestal as well as the basin. There's like these little cherubs around it. What are the rest of you kind of looking for or watching out for? That sort of thing.
You said the floor was damp,
In places, the floor
so
appears
it's
to
not
be.
slippery.
Well, you go and look at one of these damp areas and investigate it, and that dampness does appear to be a little bit slimy. Yeah, so it would be slippery in those damp spots.
Okay.
I would
Does it
like
make
to.
Go ahead, Clara.
I would like to look at the elf statue,
Mhm.
approaching and trying to see like if it looks like it's an artistic carving, or does the elf look scared, or
The the elf is quite detailed. It's a quite detailed carving. And again, just kind of with her arm outstretched, kind of looking at her hand, maybe a little over her hand, above her hand, and kind of out over top of her hand is like over top of the basin of this fountain. And as you're kind of looking at this detail, she doesn't have a look of fear in her face, necessarily. More more like she's just regarding something, and you also get a look because you're up close to this now in the basin. There is water in there, but it is pretty nasty looking water. Yeah. Give me a wisdom check.
that's a 12 minus 1, so that's an 11.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
It's ominous.
Yeah.
May I ask if the statue is too real to be a carving, or
Ooh.
the checking the alignment of like the eye to the hand? Or
Yeah, it is quite real, too real to be a carving. You have never seen a statue with this amount of detail, is what I would say about that. Yeah.
should I vocalize that question to the team?
That's up to you.
Ulara asks the team, does the statue look too real to be carved?
Oh, that's not a good thought.
Yeah. Uh, it is, however, definitely an interesting thought. And I would like you to roll a wisdom check too, as you're kind of in this same zone, looking at these at this statue and at this basin, along with Clara.
Ulara rolled a 2.
A 2.
Oh, no.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Also really good to know. So, Bruga.
Okay, I had two thoughts. One of them, so Bruga's background is in herbalism, so she might be familiar with poisons. I'm wondering if, like Rose, noticing like the slimy floors, and I wonder if she would start to wonder if like there's anything kind of like nasty or poisonous in here. Like, does the water seem poison?
Okay. As you're as you're taking a look at this water, I don't know exactly the methodologies you'd use, but maybe like a wafting above the basin or something like that.
Yeah.
It definitely smells fetid, but not necessarily like you just wouldn't want to drink nasty water, period. And as you're doing that, you do see something that the other two missed because you're looking more specifically at this water, and something below the surface glints and shimmers just a bit.
Oh.
Catches your eye.
Do you want to borrow Alara's grappling hook?
I just does it look like more of like a metal glint or like a light, like reflected light? Or is it impossible to tell?
The glint you catch, I mean, a glint is reflected light, but it does look metallic in nature,
metallic.
Yeah. Like a silvery type of metal.
How deep is the water?
Not very. It's a basin.
Oh, okay.
The staff, if you want to use that as opposed to a hand.
I think I would definitely call, hey Rose, I see something shiny in here.
Amazing.
I'd probably also say, oh, do you think I should stick my hand in and try and fish it out? Oh, you're muted, Mary.
Okay, so she lures the halfling over with something shiny, huh? Okay. She does run over and peek and say, "What'd you find? Something living there?"
It does not appear to be moving around. It does appear to be metallic. As it's pointed out to you, you can see that.
It could be a lost artifact. We should retrieve it.
No.
You want to stick your hand in there? Does anyone have a stick? I'm gonna poke it.
Staff. Yep, hand over that staff. You want to poke it with a stick.
Poke it with a stick.
Let's not stick hands into random weird bowls of water.
No, let's not stick our hands in because icky. Ew.
Yeah.
But
That's not hygienic.
Yeah.
I'll stick the staff in.
This all seems reasonable, and you do, and you're able to like along the side like ease it up enough that you see it is a very ornate mirror.
Oh no.
And as you get it up to the top, you do see the outstretched hand of this statue reflected in the mirror, and it is not a statue. It's not moving, but you see the very lifelike upright hand of this female elf. And we're going to stop right there because we are at time, but we will be back to see what happens in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So, Molly,
done.
we have just put a stop on the time. I'm going to take note of your timer, at a little more than 45 minutes I can keep that for next time. So thank you all so much. This was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun. We're in
Thank
so
you,
much
everyone.
trouble.
You're like, yeah, she's either going to try and kill us or maybe she needs to be rescued. I don't know.
Like she dropped the mirror, return it to her. Or pocket it.
Pocket it. Yeah.
That was fun, guys.
So I had planned on kind of saving questions till the last. That's the extra time allotment for the last session. So we might get questions from people along the way that we can kind of collect and answer. Yeah.
Okay. So then, wonderful. Give me just a
You're
second.
muted on our end, Molly.
Yeah, just unmuted. My audio is getting picked up by the streaming overlay and by Zoom, and so I have to unmute in both places. Anyway, y'all, audio is so fun. No, I loved that. That was really fun to watch. I hope it was as fun for y'all to play as it was for us to watch. Thank you so much. So like Carl said, we'll probably get some questions in the interim, but we're going to go ahead and save those until stream 3. And yeah, we will see you all in 2 weeks on January, is it 27th? I think that is.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah, that's 13 plus 14. Yeah. Math. We will see you on January 27th for another exciting installment, and we will see how this cliffhanger gets resolved. So, bye, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.